Accessing peace. Existing without violence, with the ability to calmly resolve conflict. Downloading love. An overwhelming, deep, positive affection towards others. Activating liberty. Living your life as you see fit without infringing on the lives of others.
Welcome to Peace, Love, Liberty Radio, online at fppradio.com. I am your host, Darryl W. Perry, the Liberty Penguin, the Wombat, the uncut cocaine of libertarianism. And if you're new to the show, and I know that there are some new listeners because, I've looked at the numbers, and they're going up slightly. So that's good. I know that means that there are then new listeners. So if you're one of those new listeners, you might be wondering, what exactly is this show? Well, it's kind of a self-help show, but it's also therapy for me. What do I mean by that? Well, I go through various topics and articles of, how to basically, improve your life while also giving personal anecdotes about, hey, here's how this relates to me, might be how it relates to you as well. And I'll also throw in libertarian ideals, throw in libertarian philosophy, throw in anarchist philosophy. Ooh, scary word, right? If you're not familiar with the term, you might think, that's the people that bust windows at Starbucks and do all kinds of horrible stuff, and they just want to, be violent and nothing matters. Well, no, that's not true anarchy. What anarchy means, the word anarchy, literally means no rulers. Now, some people will say you cannot have true anarchy because in a society absent, the government as we know it, people would rule themselves, which would be, like autarchy, self-rule, but that term doesn't really sound good because it sounds too much like autocrat, which is, like an autocracy, to where there is one person that runs the entire thing. Communist dictatorships are autocracies, meaning there's one person in charge, where the society that I envision, and a lot of people like me envision, is that there would be 7+ billion people in charge, everyone in charge of themselves. So, with that in mind, let me jump into the articles that I have, starting with one about why it's actually good to spend some time alone. Sometime alone. Keyword there is some, because there have been studies that show that isolation from other humans for extended periods of time do have negative mental effects. So it's solitary confinement. There's a reason that's used as punishment in prisons. There's a reason that it is used against, enemy combatants. They want to punish the person. They want to cause a form of torture. Basically, solitary confinement is a form of torture because it just totally screws with the mind. So sometime alone is good for you. And research explains why. I've got the article from lifehack.org. But before we delve into, you might be thinking, but I thought that connecting with people was important. It is. It certainly is. But the society that we live in right now is hyper connected. Basically, the vast majority of people have smartphones, tablets, iPods, laptops, etc. The article here says, and a few of us even have these soon-to-be relic things called desktops, We're so addicted that according to a Pew Research Center survey, and I pulled up the survey, it was from 2012. They don't appear to have done a follow-up since then. I wish they would, but according to a 2012 study by Pew Research, 67% of people who own a cell phone find themselves checking their phone even when they don't notice it ring or vibrate. 21% of respondents reported going online, quote, unquote, almost constantly. We're so busy networking, both online and off, that we leave little time for ourselves. But here's the thing. Alone time does have some significant benefits. Science shows that we overestimate how much we need people and underestimate the value of solitary experience. In essence, it comes down to a PR problem. PR being public relations. Being alone has a bad rap. It is often erroneously associated with being lonely or antisocial, both of which are not beneficial to health. But being alone is distinct from these conditions, and research is mounting on its benefit to body and mind. For example, a recent study published in the Journal of Consumer Research found that those who forego hedonic activities alone are missing out on opportunities for rewarding experiences. So, what are the benefits of being alone? And again, this is not saying, like, live alone and never communicate with other human beings. This is talking about taking some time for yourself. Maybe it's 10 minutes. Maybe it's an hour. Maybe it's half an hour. Maybe you just go away for a weekend and you relax and recharge, and the only humans that you interact with are the people that drop off the room service outside of your hotel. That's what they're talking about. Taking time to recharge. Taking time to rest. There are 5 benefits and 5 ways that you can spend some time alone and why it's beneficial. Number 1, alone time can help you rest and recharge. If you're like most people, you are continually overwhelmed by an onslaught of distractions, and a lot of it comes in the form of other people. Meetings, phone calls, texts, social media, parties, date night, etc. You're rushing here and there, and I'm rushing to end this segment, so stay tuned. We'll be back here in a moment. Online at fppradio.com.
You can support FPP Radio by shopping online. Whether you're looking for precious metals, bitcoins, or books, you'll find that and more at shop.fppradio.com. Every purchase you make from one of my affiliates, like Namecheap, Spendabit, and Amazon at shop.fppradio.com helps fund FPP Radio. Or you can shop directly from FPP with Bitcoin in the Bitcoin store. That's shop.fppradio.com. The Doublespeak Dictionary by Leslie Starr O'Hara satirizes the marked difference between the ideal of we the people and the reality of we the elite, while offering an insightful glimpse into the clockworks of the totalitarian mind. Ever irreverent but never irrelevant, the Doublespeak Dictionary serves as a subversive and humorous but timely reminder that the emperor has no clothes. The Doublespeak Dictionary is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores.
You're listening to Peace, Love, Liberty Radio with Darryl W. Perry. Online at fppradio.com.
Welcome back to Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. Online at fppradio.com. And maybe in all of your rushing to, make those meetings and phone calls and return that text and post on social media, maybe you're wondering about a way that you can wind up using your Bitcoin that is now more precious than gold, or at least more valuable, according to the market prices. Bitcoin more valuable than gold. Maybe you're wondering, what can I buy with Bitcoin? Or maybe you don't have any Bitcoin yet, and you're wondering, you're waiting because you don't know what you can buy with it. Well, you know what? Wouldn't it be amazing if there was a website that you could go to that would show you all of the wonderful things that you can use your Bitcoin for? Well, would you believe me if I said there is? Spend-A-Bit. Spend-A-Bit is the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. Spend-A-Bit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Spend-A-Bit. Use my affiliate link, spendabit.fppradio.com. And if you're a Bitcoin-accepting merchant, like I am, ask about their merchant suite to reach even more customers. spendabit.fppradio.com. Well, Darryl, what about the outrageous fees for sending Bitcoin? Can I use other currencies? Dash, can I use Zcash? Can I use, Litecoin, Monero? Well, on a lot of these sites, you might be able to use those directly. And if they don't accept them directly, there is this wonderful tool called Shapeshift that does allow you to convert cryptocurrencies somewhat easily from, say, Monero to Dash, or Dash to Bitcoin, or Monero to Bitcoin. There's, several dozen currencies that are enabled there in Shapeshift. So spendabit.fppradio.com. Basically, you can use almost all of your cryptocurrencies on those Bitcoin accepting merchants. You just might have to use a little tool called Shapeshift. So back to the article, the reasons it's good to spend some time alone. Because of everything that you've got going on, you're rushing here and there. You're trying to keep a mental Rolodex of your contacts and your task. Sometimes you just need a break. Being alone allows you the opportunity to settle your nerves, decompress, and regain clarity and focus. Whether it's taking a hot bath, doing a 10-minute meditation, or just enjoying a few moments by yourself, alone time can help you collect your thoughts and harness the energy you need for the rest of the day. Being alone enhances creativity. Susan Cain, author of the book Quiet, told Scientific American, solitude is a crucial and underrated ingredient for creativity. While brainstorming is often touted as the solution to producing creative ideas, decades of research shows that it actually backfires. People may feel constricted in a group, worried what others will think of their idea, or just not be motivated to commit to a deep exploration inside of a group. On our own, whether it's at home, in a cafe, on a city street, or in nature, and I really do enjoy, and it's something that, I'll be glad once it starts warming up here in New England. I do miss just sitting in the park for a period of time with my thoughts and like a pen and piece of paper. It's something that I've not done in far too long, and can't wait till it warms up and I'll go have that opportunity again. So that alone time allows you the space, and basically you give yourself permission when you're alone to open up your mind and discover new ideas and new possibilities. You can also get more done when you're alone. Back in 1913, an agricultural engineer named Maximilian Ringelmann found that individuals put in more effort when working alone on a task, rope pulling in this early 1900s instance, than when working together collectively in a group. This is known as social loafing. This phenomenon has been replicated in numerous studies in different situations over time. Think about the last group project you were part of. Can you remember one loafer that you encountered? Probably so. And it probably didn't help create the best product or the most positive experience for anyone. And this concept of social loafing, and I'll get back to the article here in a moment, but this concept, again, it's been replicated over and over and over again. And it's just more evidence for why socialism does not work. You might be asking, Darryl, are you really going to draw that conclusion? And yes, I am. Because socialism has also been tried time and time and time again. And they've basically found the social loafing. When people are not motivated by an outcome. So no matter what you do, no matter how much effort you put in, you are getting the same results as somebody who does not put in any effort. So why should you put in more effort? There's no incentive to do so. So socialism encourages social loafing. And again, study from back in 1913, and studies have been replicated numerous times and found that people, when working alone on a task, put in more effort than when working collectively. And again, socialism is nothing more than everyone working collectively and there being no incentive to do more work. I've had jobs before to where people would put in more effort getting out of work than if they just did the job that they were being paid to do. I've witnessed social loafing. I'm fairly certain you have. Interestingly, they say even when someone thinks they're contributing their maximum effort to a group, studies show they aren't. We'll explain why here in just a moment and give you some of the other benefits of alone time here on Peace, Love, Liberty Radio.
In 1999, Darryl W. Perry began a search for traditional values, which led him down a path to the ideas of liberty. He tells the story in A Rebel's Journey, My Path to Liberty. Of the book, Dr. Brian Sovereign says, sometimes it's funny, and sometimes I think it's crazy, but it's always authentic. Find A Rebel's Journey, My Path to Liberty by Darryl W. Perry on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, ask for A Rebel's Journey wherever books are sold, or visit arebelsjourney.com.
It is the year 91,001 BCE. Witness humanity's origins in Hyperchronius, a classic role-playing game for Windows PCs, with a story like no other game before. A liberty-oriented experience that is not to be missed. Go to ZOG.Ninja to get your copy of Hyperchronius today. Use the code FPP to get $1 off. Hyperchronius, ZOG.Ninja, code FPP.
This is Jeremy Scott, host of Dark 30. You're listening to Peace, Love, Liberty Radio with Darryl W. Perry.
Hey, welcome back to Peace, Love, Liberty Radio, online at fppradio.com. Going through the list here of 5 benefits of alone time. It can help you rest and recharge. Alone time can enhance your creativity. It can actually allow you and encourage you to get more work done. This seems to just fly in the face of what most people think, what some would call common sense. Oh, well, no, people get more done when they're working together because then they're not, going to just keep taking breaks and get sidetracked. Well, actually, no. Numerous studies have shown that people will put in more effort when working on a task by themselves than when working as part of a group. This is known as social loafing. Interestingly, they say when someone thinks they're contributing their maximum effort to a group, studies show they aren't. Much of this is due to a loss of motivation, an unclear goal, or an inability to coordinate group efforts. Being alone is when you harness your motivation and ultimately get stuff done. Solitude, and you've probably heard absence makes the heart grow fonder. Solitude, they say, can boost intimacy. In religious terms, solitude can serve as a time to be at one with God. And for the 1/3 to 1/2 of the population who are introverts, it's a chance to reconnect with themselves. But psychological studies have found that the benefit of being alone extends beyond introverts and the religious. Disconnecting offers a powerful opportunity to regulate our lives and strengthen our ties to others. Spending time alone can help you reassess and gain perspective on relationships and supplies a much-needed break from socializing. This way, when you return to the social world, you can be more fully engaged with your loved ones and less distracted by your own internal monologue. Basically, this is another way of saying item number 1, which is alone time helps you rest and recharge, giving you that energy to be social again and then build those stronger bonds with your friends and your loved ones. Plus, through activities you pursue solo, you might meet new and exciting people that you would never have encountered otherwise. And number 5, the greatest gift of all when you're alone, and again, talking about being alone, not lonely, when you're by yourself, you have freedom. Any parent will tell you that one thing they miss dearly now that they have children is freedom. Young college graduates will commiserate that although they love their roommate, they can't wait for them to leave for a weekend. Even newlyweds sometimes celebrate when the other is away. Let's face it, the freedom to do what we want, when we want, and how we want becomes rarer as we get older. Taking time to detach, disconnect, and spend time to yourself, doing whatever it is that you want on your terms, helps improve your mood, creates balance, and enriches perspective. No boundaries, no judgment, no negotiating. It reminds you that you are in control of your life and that fulfillment ultimately comes from within. Now, changing gears here, what happens when you change I have to I get to? You notice the difference there, right? I have to go run errands. I have to go to work tomorrow. I have to go shopping. I have to go do the laundry. I have to do fill in the blank. We say it so much it becomes second nature. It's just what we say when certain tasks lie ahead of us. But think about it. Do you really have to do these things? Do you really need to complete any of these tasks? Are you going to cease to exist if you don't do them? Is someone holding a gun to your head and forcing you to do any of these errands? The truth is, we don't need to do anything. The world will continue to spin whether we decide to go grocery shopping today or tomorrow. So why do we say we have to do things? The simple answer is because we want a desired effect. We only have to go to work because we want to earn a paycheck to live comfortably. We only have to go grocery shopping because we want to eat dinner. We only have to go to the gym because we want to be healthier. But this way of thinking creates a divide within ourselves. We blind ourselves to a desired goal, what we want, and focus only on the present work to be done, what we need to do. What if we start thinking in terms of, I get to? I get to work. I get to run errands. I get to go to the gym. You can see the difference just by reading the sentences or hearing them, right? But the instant difference is merely scratching the surface of how much a minuscule change can improve how you go about your day-to-day life. It's a shift in perspective. The article comes from Archetypes and I'll get through as much of it as possible in the closing moments. And as always, the link will be in the show notes. Stay tuned. There's more Peace, Love, Liberty Radio.
You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. Fans are friends, allies, and numerous supporters. Fans help FPP afford to produce more original content. You can join the Fans program for as little as $1 per month through Patreon and get perks like ad-free versions of FPP Radio News and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. That's fans.fppradio.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up in any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com. That's getcell411.com.
You're listening to Peace, Love, Liberty Radio, online at fppradio.com.
Welcome back to Peace, Love, Liberty Radio, online at fppradio.com. In the closing moments, going through the benefits of replacing I have to with I get to. It's a shift in perspective. Constantly saying you have to do something makes you a slave to some unknown force that keeps you from being comfortable. When you say you have to do something, you're insinuating that you'd much rather be doing something else. And let's be honest, most of the time you mean you'd rather be doing absolutely nothing. Think about the last time you had to help a friend move or had to pick someone up from the airport. You would much rather have finished binge watching the second season of House of Cards, right? Or fill in the blank your favorite television show. When you think in terms of getting to do something, it becomes something to look forward to. Not to get cliche, but life is what you make it. If you think grocery shopping or working out is a boring waste of time, that's what it will be. By changing your outlook on these seemingly menial tasks, you might actually start to enjoy them. Adding value. As mentioned before, most of the tasks you have to do or simply means to an end. This way of thinking echoes the sentiment of the old saying, no pain, no gain. For some reason, we often feel as if we're constantly supposed to punish our present selves in order to experience incredible rewards at some point in the future. Think about what saying I get to do will do for your present self. Running errands and doing work will no longer be punishment. It will be a reward unto itself. On top of that, you'll also end up earning your rewards after the work is done by simply rephrasing and rethinking the way you approach the mandates that you put on yourself. You get the maximum value out of everything you experience. And finally, it recognizes your gifts and shows gratitude. Everyone is born with a specific set of abilities and advantages. Although some people are born into better circumstances with more talent and ability than others, it's not what you have that determines what you become. It's what you do with what you have that matters. Think about all that comes with having to go grocery shopping. You have the luxury of being able to walk out of your home, lock your doors, get in your car, drive to the store, purchase what you need and probably then some, come back home, turn on the oven, and cook a delicious meal for you and your family. Take a moment not only to realize how incredible it is that you can do all of this, but then realize that not everyone in the world has that luxury. Don't forget, every Friday I answer your questions. Send those over, ama@fppradio.com.
The podcasts of FPP Radio are licensed under Copy Heart. We believe that copying is a form of flattery and do not abide by the copyright laws. Those laws serve to restrict the flow of ideas which no one can really own. Copying is an act of love. Love is not subject to law. If you enjoy the show, consider joining the Fans program and get perks like ad-free versions of Peace, Love, Liberty Radio and FPP Radio News, and also get a copy of the monthly newspaper FPP News. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com.